Durag Diaries. Yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to another video. Hey, Spurs are an absolute mess right now. But let me get rid of this ticker. Because it's in the way. Spurs are a mess, and we need to talk about it because, boy, we got a big game today. As you can see, maybe I've deluded myself again to think surely we can't lose, but the Durag is back. The Durag is on in preparation for the potential 3 points today. You already know where it is. Hoffenheim away. Watch along later. Make sure you're there. 5:15, 5:30. We're going to be going live. First of many. But yeah, man. There's been some big news come out over the last 12, 24 hours. And Postecoglou comments. Deloitte. News coming from Deloitte. If you guys don't know, that's the Swiss Ramble. They release the financial reports for all the teams at around this time for last season. And there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of talking points. Before I get into anything, make sure every single one of you have smashed the like button. Because as you can see up here, we're on the road to 2K. You know what I mean? Big up to everyone inside that's helped me get to the 1K. But as we know, with this game, you just got to keep it moving. You've got to keep it moving, and we've got the new goal. Hopefully, you guys are going to be here to support me to get me there. So big up to everyone inside. But Spurs, oh my God! Wait. First of all, let me check in and check out with the people inside. Big up to Ben. Come on, you Gunners. Big up Jords. Ben Bryant. We don't do no Gunners around here, but you're my guy. You're my guy. Come on, you Spurs. Big up to Dean inside. Smash the likes and subscribe to the ting. You never walk alone. Jay Spurs, big up to you, my bro. Yo, I can't lie. Just get him out. We're wasting time. People have had enough. People have had enough. KTs, big up Jords. That Spurs game at 4:45 a.m. in Australia. Them folks. But bro, I feel for you. They best perform. Boy, oh boy, they best perform. For you, and not only you, for me. For all of us. For every single Spurs fan out there that's just been drowning away, dying in the depths of the gutter right now. They've got us down, man. They best win. You still got faith in ANGE because I still hope it works. In a comma, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into all of that. But let me just set the setting because as you can see, the background's just not, it's not where it's supposed to be. You guys know. I was a bit not prepared. I've just been running in, rushing in. Thought, let me get some food before we start. There we go. Let's set the scene. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's get the mood, the lighting correct. You know what I'm saying? Let's remove. I don't know why this is there. We don't need no display names. There we go. We've set the fucking mood. Now let's get into it, man. J Spurs, if we aren't gonna buy in players, what the hell are we doing? That's the first talking point. ANGE confirms no signings. Now, some people may say he's confirmed it. Some people may say it's typical Spurs. And some people may say he hasn't confirmed it. Now, whatever way you want to look at it, it's not a good look for Spurs. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get up every word Postecoglou said. We're gonna do what we done last week. Go through the press conference, break down everything he said. What's the things to point out on transfer signings, what he said on that. And, we're going to look at this objectively as we did last week because I tried to be objective, but lo and behold, Spurs are Spurs and they're going to get a man mad because some of the defense that Postecoglou was doing for Levy, boy, I don't know what Levy's got on him, but it's not good. It's not good. There's definitely something going on over there. Because, boy, I ain't seen a yes man like this in a long time. Come like someone, he's going to tell his wife that, boy, he's got a London drawn. You know, them way there. That's what it's coming like because there's way too much protection going on. Way too much. But let me share my screen. With you, folks. Wait, how can I do that? Present. All right. There we go. Let me zoom it in a little piece more for you, man, yeah? Just to make sure we're all seeing the same thing I'm seeing. Ads, cut out, cuz. We don't need none of that. All right. What's the latest team news? Bro, why has this website got so many ads, fam? Hey, from the last game, obviously there's a couple signings. Players ineligible, Jed and Regulon. And I think the only one is Pap. So now people don't know team news that has currently come out. Pap Sarr is injured, bruv. Pap Sarr's injured. Now, it's only a calf injury, and apparently he's expected to be back for the weekend or next week. But we've had the injury news has just been non-stop. It's been non-stop. We've got Pap Sarr out currently. We've got Solanke, who's just been announced as out. Bissouma, who's just been announced as out. Obviously, you got Udogie, who's been confirmed to return early to mid-February. Dom Solanke's been confirmed that it's an MCL. He's been out until about early March. And then Vicario, they haven't put a timeline on Vicario just yet. I think he's supposed to come around late January, early February. So we should be seeing him back in the next few weeks. Who else? Van der Ven and Romero. Romero's back in training. Now, Romero was pictured in training, but I think this was minimal movements. He wasn't really involved in the full training, the full high-intensity games or anything like that. So I believe that they're going to stagger him back and probably won't see him play any football until maybe next Thursday, next Sunday, if that. Mickey van der Ven's looking a bit further out. He probably won't play in the next 3 games, but you may see him next weekend have a small appearance. But I do think that he may not take the risk of him and wait until those Liverpool and Aston Villa games, because those are going to be big games for us, and Romero and Van der Ven are definitely going to be needed for them. But big up to You Love United 8 the Ops. Big up to the people them. As you know, the people them inside. Make sure you're smashing the like button. While the negativity, back your gaffer. I'm not being negative. What are we doing here? We're discussing football, mate. I don't know. You were twerking for Ange 2 streams ago. I don't twerk for no one, bro. I don't twerk for no man, no woman. Most definitely not. But Ange, no, I didn't say I'm Ange out. Now, this is what we're not going to do here, people. When we're having a football conversation, you have to have a football conversation. You have to see both sides of the coin. There's going to be good things. There's going to be bad things. I ain't biased. I simply giving you guys how I feel in the moment. My mind changes, but my mind hasn't changed about Ange. You're saying, where's that enthusiasm? I mean, the enthusiasm will be there. Watch along. Make sure you're there in at 5 p.m. if you want to see it. You know what I mean? But Love United 8 the Ops. Are you Ange out? No. I'm not. I've been very consistent with where I've been at. We're going to get into it. I'm not going to answer all the questions. Let's get into, what we came in to talk about, because you're going to have all your questions answered. All your questions answered throughout the stream. But before I even went into the press conference, see, I went left. We were going down a straight road and I took a left, but we need country road sense. We need to stay on this lane. This lane ain't going nowhere. That's what I need to go at. Let's go back to the tweets. You know what I mean? Let's go back to the tweets that I saved, because these were the things that I wanted to talk about first. Because these were the things that were worrying me about Spurs, yeah? Bookmarks, there we go. Now, saw this news come out today. I saw this news come out today. And this needed to be discussed. This definitely needed to be discussed. Spurs Express apparently reporting. Oh. What's going on here? Let's. Do you know what? What is going on, people? Do you know what's going on? Let's pattern this up real quick, because this isn't looking the way it's supposed to look. Should have done this admin beforehand, people, but allow me in it. We're working on this. There we go. That's a little piece better. There we go. Sources familiar with the situation. So this is about... Oh, sorry. We're going to have to go back just to give you a bit more Let's go onto the Spurs Express because we need context. We need to make sure we got the full context of what was said. Okay, so today news reported Jeff Scott, former Spurs head of medicine and sports science, left Spurs after clashing with Postecoglou. Although the club insists that Scott's departure did not involve Ange Postecoglou, sources with knowledge of the situation who asked to remain anonymous to protect relationships say the pair fell out over how to manage first-team players' first-team squad's workload and the recovery of injured players. Now this is bullshit. I just want to call bullshit straight out right away, because as soon as I saw this morning, as you can see over the last couple of weeks, reports start to come out as they do with any manager. When a manager's in a bad way and the team's not performing, they start to look everywhere. They start to point everywhere at all the little things that went wrong, all the little things that have led up, and say, oh, there's been a falling out here. There's been a falling out there. The players aren't listening. There's the players don't like the training method. This is a load of rubbish, and these Spurs fans are lapping it up. Stop lapping it up. Jeff Scott was a problem before Ange Postecoglou. Have they forgot Lo Celso? Have you forgot Ryan Sessegnon? Have you forgot Ndombele and Dembele? The amount of players that we've had over the last 8 or 9 years that used to get recurring injuries, the exact same injuries, due to our medical staff not taking good care of them. They used to consistently be delayed on comeback. We would hear Celso's 2 weeks away, or he's out for 6 weeks, and he's out for 4 or 5 months somehow because they don't take good care of them. Jeff Scott was always a problem at Spurs. We're not going to make this about Ange Postecoglou. We're not going to do that now, because this guy's been a mess at Spurs. Spurs medical team has been rubbish for God knows how long. So I don't like how people are trying to now paint this picture that, oh, because he's fell out with the medical staff and Spurs are getting all these injuries, or this is the reason why. This is the reason why. It's a load of rubbish. One thing I will say is this is probably correct. Sources familiar with the situation who asked to remain anonymous to protect relationships say that medical staff have had reservations about Mickey van der Ven's readiness to play versus Chelsea, but nevertheless, he started the match. The club insists he was ready, but the plan had only been to play him for around 60 minutes. Due to circumstances of the match, he ended up playing for 79 minutes. Now, we know what happened in the game. Romero went out injured first in the first 20 minutes, which led us to play Dragusin at the back. And then Archie Gray came on later on in the last 11, 12 minutes to try and see out the game. Now, obviously, Ange made the wrong decision there. This is definitely on Ange. We all called it out and said it the way that it was. He was supposed to be back, but he clearly wasn't ready. You played him for too long, and now he's been out for a further 6 weeks. Poor decision from the manager. He has to take accountability for that. But outside of that game, I can't see an instance of when players have been forced or rushed back without probable cause, because we have to look at the situation of what it is right now. There's so many players out. When a player does become available, especially when they're a player like a Van der Ven, like a Romero, we haven't got good enough quality replacements for them. So he's been forced to be like, yeah, if they're even available for 45 minutes, we're going to have to get 45 out of them, because 45 at Dragusin, we concede 3 against Everton. That's what happens. So you've got to try and take what you can get, but at the same time, load management is key. These players have never played this amount of football in their life. We've been playing every 3 days with a squad of 14 players for the past 3 months. People don't listen to this, and people just choose to ignore this. I was watching a show yesterday, Spurs Kings TV. Shout out to Jay. He was trying to get across to that Stefan guy, that Tottenham's team has been like this, and Ange hasn't been able to build upon the performances or build upon this team and get results out of them because we're playing so often. People are telling me that the training methods are too intense, but it's bullshit, because we train barely because we have so many games. After every game, it's been confirmed, players get a day off. So after that day off, then we have like 2 days of training. That 2 days of training, they're already doing load management, because the first day is going to be half a day of recovery, doing in the gym, doing a lot of leg work, doing the spin, the spin classes and them things, getting on the cycles, doing all the stretch. You're doing that side of things. And then the next day, you're going to do a bit more of an intense training session. But the day after that, you've got a match or you've got to travel to prepare for a match. So when people are going on about training sessions, it's bullshit. It's rubbish. Pochettino used to do 2 double training sessions. He was famous for it. He come in, Flake Play was like, rah, we got a training session at 8 and then a training session at 1. What's going on? Yeah, that's how you make players fit. And then we was one of the fittest teams in Europe over the next couple of years under him. So we've got to be honest with this, man. Like all these news that's coming out, this is just, it's journalists doing what journalists do. They see a club in a very bad state right now, and they're just trying to jump on the bandwagon because they know fans are going to lap this up. Fans are going to eat this up. Yo, what's going on with the camera, fam? Someone trying to... Yo, what's... Bro, someone's trying to hack into my thing. Durag Diaries, loud all of that. We ain't doing that over here. But all right, let me just see what you... Let me check in with the chat real quick. What is chat saying on this, man? Bro, this NA guy is just trying to get a response, man. This guy just waffles, bro. This guy waffles. This is clearly an Arsenal fan trying to get here and, you know, rattle me. But little one, behold, bro, I can never get rattled by the chat. Come on, man. What's going on over here? People should know me by now. You ain't going to rattle me in the chat. You got to come on a stream and try rattle me. You think I can take rubbish from a guy that keyboard sitting there spitting at his phone, spamming his thumbs? Calm down, bro. Calm down. I know your little thumbs, yeah? Got some strong muscles in them, but come and speak on a stream if you're really about that. If you really want to talk trash and talk about my team or talk about my opinion, come and talk on a stream. You're too afraid to do that, bro. These people on here just warriors, Twitter warriors and them things, man. Come on. Ethan, why are you still backing this manager? Ange doesn't manage his players properly, though. Now, look, I've come out and I've admitted that some of these times I don't think the intensity in the matches is managed properly. I can call out faults for what it is, isn't it? Ange isn't one of these. He's not one of these managers that tactically in game they can adapt. And I feel like he is adjusting recently, but the intensity I feel like it's only been adjusted due to the players that are available. It's going to be telling when we have our full team back to see how we play. If he plays similar to the way that we have recently, you know, being a bit more counter-attacking at times, depending on the team that we're playing, we're going to have to see. But King Krilla, you know what it is, Durag is back with a banger. We're hoping we're getting the 3 points tonight. Who plays in goal tonight? That's it. Just as King Krilla said here, it's Austin. Brandon Austin. Yeah, do you know what? It's good for the kid. It's good that he's finally getting some game time. Europa League minutes. The next 2 games will be big for him. Because Kingski's not registered, and also he's cup tied for this group stage, so he wouldn't be able to play for Spurs anyway because he's already registered as part of the Sparta Prague squad, so he wouldn't even be able to play for Spurs. And obviously, yeah, like King Krilla said here, no Spence, Reguilon, or Yang. By the way, I've watched Hoffenheim. King Krilla, watch out for Bischoff, Kramaric, and Schlozek. I know about Schlozek and Kramaric because Schlozek was a baller, youngster, man. You start, yeah, FM. If people know about FM, some of these ballers, yeah, you pick them up randomly and then you just remember the name. And then they just end up at some random club and you're like, rah, he was the guy back in the day. He was the guy. I'm pretty sure this is the Croatian young G used to play in the middle. Man just knows his name from FM. But Kramaric, he's played in Premier League, used to play for Leicester. So I already know it could be a dangerous striker. But boy, I'm not going to be worse from him. I'm not going to be scared of Kramaric, man. Let's be real here. I did see this. I love United 8 Ops. I remember you tagged me in this. Yeah, shout out to you. Fireworks were set off outside Tottenham's team's hotel at 2 a.m. ahead of the crunch Europa League fixture versus Hoffenheim. Do you know what? This is just part and parcel of the game. If you go to an away Europa League game, European night, this is just what you expect as a, you know, as a rival club coming into their country, trying to take points away from their team. This is just what they're gonna do, bro. It's just part of it, man. You gotta live with it. This ain't no excuse as to why we won't perform tonight. You know, players, we're men. We can live on 4 or 5 hours sleep. It is what it is. It's just part of the game. It's part of the game. But back to it. back to it. Away from the, doctor situation, which is already a mess, Spurs having injury upon injury. Udogie is on track to return in just over 3 weeks. That's good news. But there was some other news. There was some other news that I needed to touch on. That's what I was going to get to over here. Because this is a problem. And this is a reason why Spurs will constantly stay behind our rivals. We're going to stay behind our rivals. We're not going to compete. We're not going to be able to compete with our rivals at this rate because look at this. Look at this. Let me just open this tweet up properly. Yeah. So, as people do know, as I mentioned earlier, Deloitte released the reports regarding wages, commercial revenue, what the club's bringing in, the percentages compared to what the club's bringing in, and so on and so forth. Now, this is just of the top 6. This is a little chart to give you the past 10 years of where the wages have been and the increase by teams. And I guess you can sort of look at the wage increase, and usually it's in line with a team being more successful. The higher the wages, the more successful a team would be. Essentially, doesn't always work out that way, as we've seen with a United and a Chelsea as of recent years. But essentially, it does over time. The more money you invest in, the more money you're going to get. We all know this is normal. Look at Spurs. Do I need to zoom that in for you guys? Do I need to zoom that in just a little bit more? Spurs are down bad at... Let's look at just the most recent year, of course. This year, 221 million compared to Manchester United at 364 million. You've got Manchester City at 412 million. Liverpool at 386 million. Chelsea at 337. And then Arsenal at 326. Now, if you look at this table over the last year, Spurs are almost half. We're almost half of what Manchester City are paying out. And then that will tell you why Spurs are so far behind our rivals. We don't spend. When we go in for big players, they come back and they say, yeah, I want 150k, 200k a week. Spurs go on to the next. You know them. You know, if you've ever had if you've ever gone to a job interview and they may not have put the salary up on the job advert. And then when you go there, you tell them how much you're expecting. They say, yeah, we're going to consider that. You don't hear nothing. You don't ever hear from them. You send a little email to the HR to say, oh, yeah, have I heard anything? Is there anything going on with my application? And then they just ignore you. They ignore you. That's Spurs in the transfer market. That's Spurs. When people start talking big money, they start talking big cash. Yeah? The same way another one. Knowing you've got that certain friends, you're trying to invite them out. They don't really come out too much, but you're inviting them out. Right, we're going out. We're going to go to a big night. We're going to go on Mayfair. We're going to spend some big money. They just ignored the message. When you get home, they're going to do the one that's, oh, why didn't you shout me, bro? What do you mean, why didn't I shout you? I shouted you. You ignored me. You're playing the game. That's what Spurs do. They play the game. They're going to tell us, watch. They're going to tell us next week, oh, we put in a bid for this player, but they rejected it. You know, one of them pump fakes, like when they went in for Paulo Dybala. Yeah, we're going to pay 65 million for Dybala. The deal broke down on image rights. Bullshit. It's bullshit, man. They can't sell me this story. I ain't a dickhead. They can't sell me this story. But look at it. Spurs are so far behind their rivals. We're 105 million of Arsenal, who are second last. This number is going to drastically go up next year for most of these clubs because Haaland signed a 9.5 million year deal at about 400 or 500k a week. They signed Omar Marmoush, who's going to be on about 150 to 200k a week. Liverpool's number will probably come down with their biggest players potentially leaving. But if then they go out and sign big players, they're going to have to put them on big contracts. So they're going to be in and around the same. Spurs, one of our highest paid players on this wage bill is Timo fucking Werner. Timo Werner. This guy is going to be gone at the end of the season. So when he's gone, we're going to have all these players under 100k a week, and then we're going to sit here and wonder why Spurs aren't competing. Daniel Levy's pulling the wool over our eyes again. He's pulling the wool over our eyes. They think that they can play the game. They think that we're just going to lap this up and we're going to listen to this. Oh, honestly, onwards to it. Onwards to it, because this is what will give some more context, yeah? This will give you a little bit more context, because this guy wrote it down a bit better. Look at it like here. Spurs' wage bill was down to just 42% of revenue at 220 million, despite we have a higher commercial revenue than Chelsea and Arsenal. So we bring in more money off of, you know, the sponsors, everything like that. We bring in more money than Chelsea and Arsenal, but we spend significantly less on wages. And then there's rumors going around that apparently, Spurs finish between 10th and 15th. We don't finish in a good position. They could be looking at cutting jobs. They could be looking at sacking staff members. Sacking the canteen lady because we got one too many. Taking the jobs away from the people that keep this club running. What they're going to be looking at doing. Daniel Levy, the crook. The schmuck. I swear, I hope. I'm not going to say what I really think about this guy because, boy, Daniel Levy is an absolute crook. He's an absolute crook. He's an absolute crook. But let's go back to the press conference, man, because that stuff is just as depressing as what we're about to read. Let's move on in it. Let's move on. He touched a bit on the Romero scene to be training. He's training, but he's not traveled. He's not playing. Probably another week to 10 days for him. Exactly what I said. It's only his first day back in training, so he's not really taking the high intensities. Here we go. This almost sent me to Mars, but my head was on Pluto when I see this. After everyone in my group chats, we were going mental. It's day 22 now. Is there a possibility that no one else signs this month? Yeah, potentially, mate. What do you mean, yeah? What do you mean? We need players. It's unacceptable. 22 days into this window, and he's trying to sit here and say potentially. The club is working hard to try and get some help for the players, but as far as I know, nothing's imminent. But things happen. Of course they happen in the last week of the window because it's opportunity time. It's Spurs time. You know when you sit there and people have Fergie time? Last day of the window is Spurs time because do you know what Levy's going to do? He's going to pull another Danjuma out the hat. He's going to pull another Werner out the hat. And some Spurs fans are going to lap it up. But that ain't going to be me. Told you. That will not be me because this club is an absolute mess. We're an absolute mess right now. We are a mess. From top to bottom, but most definitely from the top. Because boy, oh boy, what do you mean potentially we may not sign anyone? People want to call out my manager, ANGE, yeah? And look, I will call him out for this. Call him out for his little fucking defenses of this crook Daniel Levy, yeah? This fucking bowling ball head, yeah? Keeps coming out and saying, yeah, we might not sign anyone. Oh, yeah, it's all right. The club's not working hard enough. The club's not working hard. Clearly. Because if you're working hard, you would have planned before the window. And now we're seeing Spurs are in one of the best places financially with regards to PSR. So we have no worries in the world about overspending. We have no worries in the world about getting point deductions. We don't have none of that. Spurs aren't going through that situation right now. We can spend freely. But yet he chooses not to because he's too focused on building a fucking hotel. Or, raising the prices of our fucking, local fans can't go to games. Local fans can't go to games because they want to charge 60-odd pound for Europa League. For Europa League fixture. What is this? I was seeing on the timeline, even Arsenal, they're another London club. They're playing Champions League. And their tickets going for like 30 quid, bro. 30 quid. But we're literally 20 minutes away from them. We're charging double the price. It's an absolute mockery. It's a mockery. This guy's taking us for a joke. Daniel Levy's taking us for a ride. Pause. Because look at this, man. How are we 22 days into the window and we're not even imminent of a signing? And when we are going to be imminent, it's going to be someone rubbish, man. I just know it. I just know it. Spurs get linked to everyone. Spurs are interested in everyone. Spurs are talks with everyone. Spurs are inquiring about everyone. Whichever phrase you want to use, Spurs are doing it. They're doing everything but putting in a bid for player. Johan Langer as well. Get out of my club. Get out of my club, man. I'm tired of this guy already. Bring me Don Paratici back. The Don would have never let this happen. The Don would have had Douglas Luiz over here and we would have been doing up double signing pictures. You know what I mean? I would have been there at a press conference. They would have needed me to do it, be his double sometimes. We could have been working someone out. Don Paratici would have gave this club opportunities. He would have got us somewhere. Johan Lang's got us drowning. Drowning. He thinks this is Aston Villa. He thinks he's in Merseyside again. He thinks he's in Merseyside. I can't lie, I'm so far behind the chat, guys. So, wait, I ain't read it for like 7-8 minutes. So I'm just going to scroll through most of it. I'm going to try and catch up. You're going to have to give me a second. You're going to have to give me a second. Big up Manage, late tuning, big up Jords, big up the chat, hit the likes. You already know what are the likes on right now. What are the likes on? Because if it's a disgraceful thing right now, I might as well stream, bro. Might as well just send it. What? Nah, let me refresh my page. Let me refresh because I just saw something crazy. Nah, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I saw 2 and I was like, what? 2 likes? Is the people trying to violate the boy today? No, we're on 22. The aim for this stream, we're going to aim to get to like 40. But as long as everyone in the stream likes up the thing, show some love. You know what I mean? Let me try to get through this, though. Smash the likes, people. This never winning anything Spurs fan is absent. Bro, I'm not losing that, man. I ain't losing that. This ain't a crash out. People ain't see me crash out, man. This is just, I'm animated. People have to remember, I'm just animated. I'm emotional. I'm a bit loud. I shout. That's just how I am. I can be on a stream with someone shouting. Doesn't mean I'm angry. It doesn't even mean I'm like feeling some type of way. It's just the way I am, bro. I'll go in emotion. You might see me go on a little rant, shout for like a minute, and then we bring it back down. You know, bring the tone back down, bro. This ain't no crash out. People have lost their mind. Hooks thinks he's seeing a crash out. Oh, you've lost your mind. You've lost your mind. Hooks, is the crisis over? Is the treble still on since the squad is unfortunate? No, this isn't for me. This ain't for me. I'm going to scroll it down because I'm so far behind the chat, people. I'm so far behind the chat. Hooks, what are you saying? What's your question, bro? What's your question? I guess you should answer the question. I'm seeing a lot of chat people asking you the question. What are you winning, bro? Hooks, what are you winning, brother? What are you winning? Why don't you let us know your answer in the comments? What are you winning this season? It's a great question. Great question. But Paratici was way better. The Don Paratici would have never let this happen. You know what I mean? Don Paratici would have never let my club drown 22 days into the window. And if he did, he would have damn made sure it was worth it. Just like when he pulled out man like Ben 10 and Kulu, bruv. That's what he pulled out the bag. The last week of the window, they said answer. In fact, forget about that. He was going to pull Luis Diaz out the bag. But the club wanted to faff around with wages. Don Paratici was about to bring Diaz to the fucking carpet. He was going to bring Diaz to the lane. And then when that didn't work, he's like, no, do you know what? Don't worry. Make a call. Kulu, Ben 10, rise. Rise. The Don had us cooking. The Don had us cooking. And now we're just fried, bruv. We're fried. We're fried. Hey. We're fried, man. Hooks, is it phase 5? Word to Babs. According to Arteta's actual plan, we cannot be in phase 5. These men are loving it. Look, they're loving it. Wait, what? Is Hooks answer the question? Oh, wait, Hooks didn't answer questions, of course. Of course. Hooks don't answer questions, man. Do you guys want to go see the... Make sure you go check out the clip. You know, Kamala Hooks is back again. Kamala Hooks, that's his new name. Make sure you guys get used to it. politician. I was saying, are we an Arsenal stream? Should we answer Arsenal? Bro, you're asking questions. I'm asking questions. If you want to answer them, you can, or you can do like Kamala Hooks and, dodge it as per usual. As per usual. Well, moving on. Wait, the Don had you cooking, but bro. I said the Don had us cooking in the transfer window. He doesn't actually, manage the team. He was managing what players came into the team. And across 18 months, I think it's fair to say he'd done a pretty damn good job. He brought some good players in. He used his links very well. I think there was some bad players he did bring in. But majority, I'm going to give the Don a very solid director of football role. I would happily take the Don back. He was a crook too. I don't mind working with a crook. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's going to go against you, but sometimes it's going to work your way. You're going to get like a 35 million Kulusevski. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But well gone, Donna. Well gone, Mr. Jords. Well gone, Mr. Hooks. Aye, Krilla, send me the link right now. I best not be seeing that. That best not be true. That best not be true. We were linked with We were linked to him 18 months ago in the transfer window before he went to Brighton. Spurs were looking at either Fatty or Brennan Johnson. Fatty came to the league. He didn't pull up no trees. Why are we looking at Fatty again? He's on the bench for Barca. If I want to go get anyone for Barca, go bring me Danny Olmo, fam. He's not even registered. You mean about Ansu fucking Fatty, fam? Give me 2 secs, people. 2 secs. Oh. All right, moving on. Who are you going to play left back tomorrow? This probably has to be Archie Gray or Ben Davies. Very good question. I was interested to know. It will be one of the two. That's all we've got. More likely, we'll play Archie at left back and Ben at centre back. We've got a couple of different ways to set that up. We've literally got 4 fit defenders, so those will be the ones that start. So who he's referring to there is Pedro Porro, Mady Dragusin, Archie Gray, Ben Davies. Pretty much revealed it. What I expected, to be honest. Archie Gray to go left back, Ben Davies and Dragusin to hold the centre, just to bring a bit more solidarity into that middle. I think Ben Davies will lead the back line a bit better, and Archie Gray on the left-hand side. Don't get me wrong, Galatasaray cooked. He was cooked down that left-hand side. Let's hope that they ain't got no tricky wingers for Hoffenheim. I ain't going to act like I know Hoffenheim, bruv. They're playing 17th in the league, and they got Kramaric, who's about 34 as their captain and striker, and he ain't that good. I'm just going to he's not that good. So I'm not afraid of them. I ain't afraid of them. We should dominate this game, and we should clap them up. But boy, it is Spurs, and we are away in Europe, so anything can happen. Anything can happen. And Hooks, to answer your question, you should know the answer to that question. The people that know my channel and they know what certain things mean, you know what I'm saying? You should know the answer to that question. Feels like 3 important games. Talk us through how your mind works with so few players. Do you have to throw them all out there? The reality is we don't have a lot of choice. There's no doubt that the players, Pat, the latest guy who's been sort of grinding through for as long as they can, with no other options. That's the basic premise of it. We've probably got 13 first-team players who've travelled. And that's the thing. Like I was saying earlier, we've had a core squad group. Fucking hell, bro. Man's tongue's twisting. Mad pause right now. A core squad group of about 14 players over the past 3 months that have been rotated and used consistently. Pap Sarr's been one of those players that haven't been injured throughout that time, so he's been playing all throughout. Pedro Porro, another one who, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he does pick up an injury real soon. Now, I'm not wishing injury on him, but will not be surprised because he's played so many minutes, the most minutes in the Premier League at the moment. And then you look at just what happened to Dominic Solanke, just through to the load management. He hasn't been rotated because we don't have rotation for him. And the one time we did eventually get rotation, he went out that same week. So life of Spurs hasn't been great. But back to it, we've probably got 13 first-team players who've travelled at the weekend. We're hoping Pap on a quick turnaround and potentially Biss, but everything else is further down track. We don't have many options apart from throwing untried youngsters in there. But again, I don't want to do that to them. We'll try focus on the net task, but that's tomorrow night. let's get through that and assess it from there. Now, I do expect to see some of the youngsters play tonight. I think Mikey Moore will definitely start. Mikey Moore is definitely going to start tonight because there's no Werner, no Johnson, who are both out of the team. You're likely to see Mikey Moore on the left, Kulusevski off the right, and then a midfield of Maddison, Bergvall, and Bentancur. And then up top, we'll probably see Son in the middle. I wouldn't mind seeing Will Lancashire, I'll be honest. This is probably one of the games where we should be throwing Will into the fold. But because it's a game where it's a must-win, I feel like he may not want to drop Sonny. Now, we know at the moment Sonny is on last legs. I don't want to see Sonny play too many games. I don't really want to see him start tonight, but I can understand the thinking as to why he would start tonight. That's it, though. Make sure, if you don't know, you just got to go tap the post notification bell. It's in the corner. Everyone tune into the watch-along tonight. We're doing a watch-along. 5:15, 5:30. I've got it 5:15 right now. I might push back 15 minutes, but make sure you're there around 15, 20 minutes before kickoff. We're going to get started. We're going to load it up. We got the watch-along going today. But like and subscribe. The stream is heavy, you know what I mean? Like and subscribe. Bro, I answered your question. Hooks. This guy doesn't understand. What is so hard about it? The question's been answered. And you know the funniest thing? I said it right at the start of the stream. Scroll back and check. You know what I mean? If not, tune into the watch along for the prediction. You want to do up Kamala Hooks? I'll do up Kamala Jords. You know, the pause. You think come on, man. Come on. I said the pause straight away. Load management is not a why, bro. You've got to manage the load, bro, regardless. Load management is needed. There's no why in that, bro. There's no why in that. But clean sheet with Austin. It could be. It could be. Bro, you don't need to hear a yes or no, bro. And you can't take my name, Kamala Hooks, bro. Kamala Hooks. Is there any chance of the player taking their eye off the ball and prioritizing the cups? Nah, mate. Of course he throws the mate in there, bro. Nah, mate. Yo. I don't get how load management is a why. You man are going to have to... I don't, innit? Like, bro, we're going to miss with that one. We're going to move on. Back to the press conference. Is there any chance of players taking off the ball? Yeah. Nah, mate. The players are giving everything. That's bullshit. Calling it out when it is. The players aren't giving. I ain't seen half of that team, half of that club show me in these games. The young boys, Archie Gray, you know, a little Kulu, a little Bergvall, you know, maybe a Pedro every now and then. A Jed Spence, most definitely, number one. But the rest of them ain't shown passion for the badge in time. You're not going to tell me they're giving everything every game. They give everything against Everton. If that was everything, I'm cooked. If that was everything. My season's done. You mean that was everything? But we're in every competition, which is a great thing, but it adds to the toll. We've been playing 2 games a week for this whole period. That's why we're picking up some injuries now. The players are giving everything every game. They're trying their utmost in every fixture we have. They're still in 3 cup competitions, so that's fantastic opportunity there for us in the next couple months. It is. It's an amazing opportunity. Is it one that we're going to take advantage of? I hope so. And we best do. Boy, we best do. Got semi-cup final with a lead. We got an FA Cup 5th round against Villa. Villa's all right. They're good. They're doing good right now. Can't take nothing away from them. Especially if we don't get no signings, then boy, we're cooked. But, but outside of that, I mean, Europa League, let's see how we get on tonight. Let's see how we do get on. Let's move on. Do you look at who and why this is all happening with the injuries, whether it's for a fixture pile-up? Is it a warning to those scheduling competitions that this is what you're going to get in the future? Now, good question. Again, I do like when the journal... This is what people don't get. They say ANGE was rude the other day. ANGE was being this way with a reporter. They're trying to say because the reporter's so-and-so, he wanted to throw back the question. No. When you ask a good question, you're going to get a good response. This guy could have framed the question and said, do you think that the injury pile-up is due to the intensity that the way or the way that you play your football. We could have said, "Oh, do you think that because you've been playing, could have just said the question in a certain way that's going to provoke a certain answer." But no, he said, "No, put it back onto the, it goes from the top to the bottom. Put it back to the board, the Premier League, the FA, the UEFA, throw it back to them. Why are they playing so many games? Why is there no break? Why is there no winter break? Every other league gets a winter break, but the Premier League don't. Oh, because what? The players just have to show up and show out. They don't even get a week off. This whole January, there's not been a week off. 2 games a week because UEFA wants to bring in two extra fixtures into the Europa League schedule. That was already too much. Come on, man. Spence hasn't been slyly good, DG. Spencer's been cold. I don't even know if you see that stat last week. Spencer's been cooking. He's playing on the left-hand side. Let's take it into consideration. He's playing on his weaker side. He's got to play on the left-hand side, and you're a baller, DG. I've seen you doing your clips, when you're bending it, top bins, cutting off the left-hand side. You see, you playing the right hand, playing off the especially being in a fullback position, when you've got to angle your body, when you're trying to play the ball down the line and you're right-footed on the left-hand side, it's not so easy, especially when you're trying to dribble and it's either you're going to do the outside of the ball foot pass or you've got to come inside the pitch where it's going to be more crowd. There's going to be more players. So it's not necessarily easy playing on the right-hand side, playing on the left-hand side, right-footed, but he's been doing the job. He's been filling in. He's been locking man up. Man, never forgetting that Salah was locked up. Man put Salah in a crucifix. Man put him in a sharpshooter, fam. He went nowhere. Trust me. Jed Spence is the real deal right now. Jed Spence is the real deal. You'll be singing trophyless again, ole, at the end of the season, Jords. Hey, do you know what? We're just going to have to see how the season plays out, bruv. We're going to have to see how the season plays out. No accountability for ANGE. I hear it. Don't ask him about his training methods and intense football that players have complained about. The players, show me proof of players coming out and complaining about that, because Pedro Porro done an interview with Alistair Gold here, Spurs reporter, and he quite literally said the opposite. He said, no, I've prepared myself pretty well for it. And Pedro Porro is a player who's very fit, hasn't suffered with injuries once since playing under ANGE, and that's not just due to being lucky. He's played more football than anyone else. So he said everyone's together right now. Everyone's behind the manager. No one has a problem with anything like that. Yeah, we have a problem with the games and the way that they're going out, but we're all together right now. So this so-called report that people aren't happy with ANGE's training methods, it's just bullshit. It's bullshit. And if there is any players that aren't happy, I'd love for them to come out. I'd love for them to come out and say it. Especially, please do. Because apparently that was under, it was the same under Nuno, or it was the same under Conte. It was the same under Mason. This is just typical reporting stuff. I ain't gonna believe this. I ain't gonna buy into this. Or players aren't happy with the training methods. Yeah, they're not happy because we're not winning. Of course, you're not gonna be happy when you're not winning. That's just the way it is. The team's probably not happy with Pep right now because they're not winning. But they won't come out and call out the manager because they're together. And none of the players will come out and call out the manager. But you're going to see the journalists and the reporters write stories about it. They'll probably say, Carl Walker had a punch up with Pep as to why he wanted to leave. That's what they're going to say. They're going to make these stories up because certain fans will lap it up. Some Tottenham fans are going to use this to fuel their hate against Ange. Cool, do it. But you're going to be the idiot at the end of the day because you're just lapping up fake stories. Yet again, man, journalists doing what journalists need to do. Let's be honest here. And I said Porro hasn't suffered with injuries problems. No, he's not. This season, he's not been injured. Porro has played literally every Premier League game, I'm pretty sure. What are we doing here, bruv? What are we doing here? You're not... Do you want me to... I'll get up on stream. Because people just... He's going to try to sit here. I know he's probably trying to do the research. He's trying to do the research now. He's trying to do the research. Come, let's do it together. Don't worry. Don't worry. You can't catch me out about my players. Can't catch me out about my players. You really can't. All right, look, share this tab instead. Pedro Porro at Spurs. He's suffered a total of 2 games missed, 19 days. And this was during an international break, pretty much, I'm pretty sure. International break period. He had a strain. He had a strain. So I'm not going to hear about training methods. Like, what are we doing here? People just don't know. Like, what are we doing here? Certain players are going to suffer when they come into a team, when they play counter-attacking football, and then you come into a team that's high pressing, high intensity, you are going to suffer at first. You're probably going to pick up a couple injuries because your body's going to get used to it. Your muscles, people, like, this is basic science. Oh, I'm actually so frustrated having to explain this. When you go to the gym, what do? You break your muscles down for their muscles to repair and grow stronger. Essentially, that's what's happening to these players. They're getting injured. Their muscles are breaking down. They're coming back and they're growing stronger, blood. They're going to get used to it over the time. Like, this is just, it's semantics, man. It's semantics. We got to stop this. The intensity, the fact that we've got such a small squad is why Spurs have picked up so many injuries. We don't have rotation. We don't have rotation. So these players are going to get injured eventually because they're just playing so many games. They're playing so many games. But look, we've been hit the hardest, but it's becoming more prevalent. If you look at the teams in Europe, even last year, Newcastle really suffered. I spoke about Newcastle. I said it in one of my last streams. And Villa to a certain extent this year. You really need a strong squad. You really need a strong squad of players and keep them healthy to cope with playing in Europe. If you do well in cup competitions like we have, because it's not manageable when you've got 3 games a week for the length of time we have. Some of it is because we've done well in the Carabao Cup, and that's added extra games to our fixturing. And in Europe, this year, 2 extra games. So all these things are taking its toll. People may look at us and think it's a unique case. It's a very extreme case for sure, but I don't think it will be as uncommon as people think as we move along. There's some warning signs there for others, but we're paying for the toll right now. Exactly that. This isn't going to be just a Spurs thing. This will be other teams having this same. Newcastle had it last season when they had their first season in Europe, by the way. Load management. Pause. I've got to pause it now because the man number fired me up for it. But they didn't get used to the schedule. This is our first season back in Europe. Clearly, it's making the players suffer from the schedule. Next season, if we are in Europe, and that's a big if, boy, that's a big if. If we are in Europe, I don't think we suffer the same issues. But that's another thing. Spurs have to get in. We don't get in Europe. I can't do another season without Europe. You know how boring that season was without Europe, fam. Oh my god. And shout out Love United Hurts learning with Jords again. Don't kill me. Porro has been arse. At times he has, most definitely. He's been arse. I think his defensive inabilities is a huge problem for us. I'm not a big fan of Porro majority of the time. And I do think that he needs to be replaced at right back, but ultimately he is a good attacking threat at times, and he does score important goals and sometimes gets important assists, so you can't take that away from him. What about VDV? What about Van der Ven? Is Van der Ven coming back? Oh, we already spoke about it on the stream, bro. I don't know what we're doing here, bro. Like, what are we doing here? This guy's asking me questions. This is why I say people got to tune in. I answered all these questions throughout the stream. I literally went on the thing and I brought it up on Twitter and we spoke about Van der Ven. I brought the tweet up, bro. All right, but big up King Kriller, man. I'll see you in the watch long as well, my bro. White PMP tax, don't kill me. Don't kill me. Let me just scroll through this and see if there's anything else relevant, because he's just whiting off right now. I'll be real. He's just whiting off. There's bare chat. Let's just stop the sharing, man. Let's go back. Let's talk about the game. Because as you can see, ANGE pretty much damn near confirmed there's no signings coming in. And he's fine with it. Apparently, he's fine with it. He doesn't seem to have an issue because Conte wouldn't have let this run. Mourinho let it run pretty much because he had Jedson, Vinicius, and fucking Bergwijn coming in January, bruv. We were cooked as soon as they came in. Man, like Jedson Fernandez. I saw people trying to tweet about him yesterday. Madness. One of the worst players I've seen play for Spurs. Carlos Vinicius, he had a laughable time at Spurs. Who remembers when he scored a hat-trick against Marine and then done up? Man, how are you scoring against non-league team and then, doing that? Shameless. Shameless, bro. Too shameless. But I answered the question, Hooks. I answered the question a long time ago. I said we're winning, bro. The durag is on because we're winning. I don't put the durag on if I don't think we're winning. What are we doing here, bro? What are we doing here? But tonight, yeah, man, look, my predicted lineup. So I think we're going to see Austin in goal. I think we're going to see Pedro Porro right back. you'll see a centre-back pairing, Ben Davies and Goosin, Archie Gray at left-back. And then moving on into the middle, I think we'll have Bentancur in the 6, Bergvall in the 8, Maddison in the 10, Kulusevski on the right, Son in the middle, and Mikey Moore out on the left. I think that team's going to be good enough to get us through the game. Hoffenheim are 17th in their league right now. Do you know what? Let me look at the table. That's one thing. Let's see what this win is going to do for us, because this is a huge game in terms of where we're going to finish in this Europa League table. If Spurs really want to compete and we really want to do something in this competition, then we have to win. Looking at the table right now, we currently sit 9th. We've got 11 points. As you see, 2 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws. 3 wins? Yeah, 3 wins, sorry. 2 draws, 1 loss. And we need the points. If we win the game, we could potentially move anywhere between 14th and 8th. And if we lose, boy, any team between 22nd and 10th could move above us. So this is a huge game for us. Goal difference-wise, we're not in a great position. We do only have 4 goals. But if we do a high-scoring game, whether we win like a 3-0, we could put ourselves in a very strong position. But just looking at some of the fixtures that there are tonight, that is going to be key to where we do land. Then you've got Fenerbahce and Lyon. That's a big one. Porto Olympiacos, AZ Alkmaar, Roma, Lazio, Real Sociedad. There's going to be some points dropped around for some of these teams, and probably Frankfurt beat Ferencvaros, and Man United, Rangers, of course. So I think there's definitely going to be some points dropped tonight. It's just depending where that's going to be. Will depend where Spurs hang out. But 3 points tonight is key. It's definitely needed if we're trying to do anything in this competition. But yeah, man, make sure you people have smashed the like button. And then where's the likes on right now? What are the likes on right now, people? Make sure you're smashing the likes. As you can see, road to 2K, man. We started the road just this week. We're doing pretty good right now. 37 likes. We're 3 away from the goal. Trying to get to 40 likes. That was the aim for the stream. So big up to everyone inside that has liked the video. Make sure you're following on the socials. You know, it's all across here. All across here. You know what I mean? _4 Jords for the Twitter and X, TikTok, YouTube, Durag Diaries. You already know what it is. Make sure you're subscribed up to the thing. We're going to be back. We're going to be back. 5:30 settings. Watch along. Europa League. Hoffenheim. We'll be there, man. Big up to everyone inside. It's been another Durag Diaries.